Hi, boys and girls. I want to review a couple different letters with you today, and these are the letters that make the D and the G sound. So what letters are they? D and G. So we're going to take a close look at these letters and just see some different things about them, like the songs and how they're made. And at the very end, you have an activity to complete about them. So let's take a look at our first letter, which is D. So this is the letter D. Everybody say D, D. And to make a big capital D, you make a big line down and a big curve. And to make a lowercase d, you make a magic C, line up, bump, and straight down. If you were to take away that top part, the tall part, it would look just like the letter A. But that's the letter D. And if you see it in your reading or writing, that's what it's going to look like. You'll see the big capital D in the beginning of a sentence and with a special name. All right, so now we've taken a look at the formation of the letter D. I want to tell you, friends, the move for D, and you're going to find out why this is the move when we hear the story. But for now, I want you guys to know that when you are making the movement for the letter D, the sound D, what you're going to do is you're going to move your hands up and down like you're playing a drum, going D, 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 D. Can you try that with me? D, 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 D. D, 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 D. All right, so of course, since there is a move for the letter D, there is a song for the letter D. So I'm going to play that for you right now. Here it is. And here is the letter D.
The sound for D is D, D, D. Here is the song for D.
See me play on my drum. Playing drums is lots of fun with a da 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 da. See me play upon my drum.
Let's look at some words for D. Dog, dog. D-og, dog. Dress, dress. D-r-s, dress. Drum, drum. D-r-um, drum. Duck, duck. D-uck, duck. This has been D.
All right, so that is the song for D. And of course, since there is a song for D, there is a story for D. D like dog and wedding and dig and red and drum. And remember, when you're doing the movement for D, you're going to be moving your hands up and down as if you're playing a drum. And you're going to say D, 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 D. Try it with me. D, 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 D. So that is the move for D. And of course, just like with all the other stories, when you hear a word that begins with that D, D sound, I want you to give me a thumb up. All right, ready? So here's my story. Dan is tidying his toy cupboard. He pulls out his teddy, his old donkey, and a duck. Then he finds a box of dominoes. He plays with them for a while. Next, he sees his yellow digger and takes it out for a drive. Suddenly, from downstairs, Dad asks, Dan, have you finished yet? Not yet, says Dan, and goes back to the cupboard. At the very back of the cupboard, he sees his old red, blue, what do you think? Drum. He picks it up and marches up and down, banging the drum. D, d, d. Dad comes in to see what all the noise is. Do you know you have spent all day tidying your cupboard? He says. Dan smiles. I found a lot of things that I had forgotten all about, he replies. So that is why that move for D is like you're banging on a drum. And let's try it again. D, 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 d. All right, so there's D. And one more thing I want us to do is we're going to look up at these magnetic letters for the letter D. And every time I move them down, I want you to do the move and make the sound for D. Are you ready? We're going to go. D, d, d. Let's try it again. D, d, d. Nice job, guys. I hope you were banging your imaginary drums. All right, so now that we have taken a close look at D, the next letter we are going to look at is the letter G, G, G. And here is our letter G. To make a big capital G, you make a big C, a big curve, and then you bring it up and a little line in. And then to make the little G, you make a magic C, up, bump, down, and instead of the A, it's a lot like the A, but instead you keep on going and you give it a little turn in. But again, if you can make an A, you can make a D or you can make a G because look, it's very similar. They just add that little tail on the end. All right, so if you see it in your books or you try any writing, this is what it's going to look like. And you're going to see the big capital G at the beginning of a sentence or in a special name. So now that we have taken a really close look and give those letters your binoculars, take a good close look at those letters. Since there are some letters for G, that means that there are some moves for G. So when you are doing the move for the letter G, what I want you to do, are you ready? I want you to pretend your hand is the water swirling down a drain, okay? And you're gonna go g, 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 like the water is going down the drain. Try it again, go g, 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 g. And you'll find out why that is in just a second. But of course, since there are some moves for the letter G, there is a song for the letter G. So here is that song for G. All right, make it nice and big.
The water gurgles down the drain.
Make that G.
The water gurgles down the drain. The water gurgles down the drain with a gug, 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 gug.
Oh, and we'll do it one more time. Let's try it one more time. Make your hand that gurgling water.
The water gurgles down the drain. The water gurgles down the drain. The water gurgles down the drain with a gug, 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 gug.
So there is G. Nice job, guys. All right, so now that we have taken a look at the letter song for G, of course, there is a story for the letter G. And I have the book right here. G as in g, 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 water gurgling down the drain. G is in gurgle. G is in glug and gold and beg and hug. And remember, when we're doing G, we want to spiral our hand down like water going down the drain. And we're going to say, g, 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 g. Try that again. G, 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 g. All right, so here is the story for G. And whenever you hear a word that starts with that G, g sound, I want you to give me a thumb up. All right, are you ready? So here is the story for G. Gail is staying with her grandmother, who has a big garden and keeps some animals there. This morning, Gail and Gran went outside to check on the goat and the geese. While they were outside, Gail found a frog next to the water bucket. She watched it hop off under the gate. When they came in, Gran and Gail went to the Gran sent Gail to the bathroom to clean herself up. Gail put the plug in the sink, filled the sink basin, and washed her hands and face. When she pulled the plug out, the water didn't go away. Gran called the plumber. And when he arrived, the plumber unplugged the sink and the water ran gurgling out of the sink basin, going, what do you think it went like? G, 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 g. Try that with me. G, 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 g. All right, guys, very nice job with that story. So now what we're going to do is as we make the sound for G and do the moves for G, I'm going to move these down. Are you ready? We're going to go G, G, G. Pretend to move them with me. G, G, G. And that one landed right on the G. All right, so now that we have taken a close look at both of these letters, I have a couple pictures here, and I want you friends to help me decide, did they go in the D, D group or the G, G group? All right, this is a little tricky. Let's see how you can do. All right, what about a, guitar? What do we think? Guitar. Does that go with the D, D or the G, G? Guitar. What sound does it make in the beginning? G. G, guitar. And there's our little G. So we're going to put that right in the G category. All right. So our next picture is a dinosaur. What do you think? Does that go in the D, D dinosaur or G, G dinosaur? What do you think? D, D dinosaur. That sounds just like the letter D, D, D in the beginning. So we're going to put it in the D category, that T-Rex dinosaur. All right, our next picture is a dolphin. What do we think? Does that go in the D, D or the G, G categories? D, D, dolphin. D, G, D, dolphin. Right in the D category. Nice job, guys. If you got all three, give those brains a big kiss. You guys are so smart. We have one more picture to solve, and that is a ghost. What do you guys think? Ghost. Do you think that goes in the D, D or the G, G categories? Ghost. G, G, ghost. I think it goes in with the G's. If you said G, give yourself a pat on the back. All right, nice job, guys. So we have taken a close look at D and G. What I want you to do next is I want you to complete 2 worksheets on the letter D and the letter G, and remember those moves because we're going to be practicing them some more in school. All right, thanks, guys, so much. Have a nice day. Bye.